Episode 755. Everyone was certain it must have been brief. Otherwise, how could he have already charged outside the encirclement before they even had time to react? But looking at the crowd sprawled all over the ground, not even a single one with a scratch, everyone felt that quite some time must have passed. Nothing was clear anymore. The only clear fact seemed to be that Lord Grimm had escaped. Surrounded by 80 of them, he used one distraction and one charge to throw their formation into chaos, then simply cut a path through and escaped.
Chase!
The squad leader shouted, and even he felt the sound was hollow and numb, as if he was just going through the motions. As for what should have followed that shout, even he himself had no idea.
Old man, I'm heading out.
Then they heard what sounded like Lord Grimm shouting something from over there.
Get lost! Get lost! I'm about to wreck everyone here.
Then, on this side, one of those rough-tongued fellows answered, and Lord Grimm took off running. These 20 or so, though, hadn't run. They kept fighting, whether against 3 teams, 4, 5, or 10, until all 20 lay dead. Some of them dropped equipment, but the guild members' faces couldn't look any worse. More than the gear they dropped, these guys were picking up even more as they killed, and there was no way to loot it back by corpse stabbing. Lord Grimm broke through, and they were helpless to stop him. But these 2 teams were finally taken down, at the cost of 39 of their own. Their losses were nearly double the enemy's, and that was even with the opponents in incomplete gear and under-leveled. Yet in the reports filed after the failed ambush, every guild captain reported exactly that to their guild leader. They said the enemy's suicide squad fought desperately to rescue Lord Grimm. The squad was successfully eliminated, but Lord Grimm still managed to slip away in the chaos. The plan to camp Lord Grimm in-game had failed yet again, while Windward Formation and his crew kept up their guerrilla tactics. As the battle wore on, they were only getting weaker. But while 2 teams weren't exactly a huge force, they still outnumbered the standard squad, and with their flexible tactics and shameless playstyle, it kept the major guilds thoroughly annoyed, but what happened next made them completely forget about the little headache Wei Chen had caused. The 3 follow-up events on the forums had the major guilds on edge, and the big move finally arrived. Heavenly Swords, a guild that had already officially announced the formation of its team, spoke up in its capacity as a club. It heaped scorn on the current commercialized approach of in-game club guilds, then firmly declared that Heavenly Swords would always be a guild for the players. It will absolutely never become a logistics base for club-run teams, nor will it treat guild players as slaves. The major guilds were losing their minds over this. Slaves? How was this explanation not getting through to anyone? Which club would dare treat its own supporters as slaves? The guild certainly took plenty of supplies and materials from its members, but it wasn't like they were just taking them for free. The mature guild systems were built precisely for this. Members donate resources and earn contribution points, and the higher your contribution, the better your perks. This is clearly a win-win situation. How did they end up describing guild players as slaves? But before these guilds could react, someone else posted a detailed comparison of each guild's warehouse system, picking out a mid-tier piece of orange gear from a random guild as an example, to exchange for gear of this tier. For a player in that guild, the required contribution was 150,000, and to reach that threshold, excluding extra compensation from daily events and only counting donated supplies, by this guild standard, where donated goods are valued at market price, it would come to roughly 300,000 gold coins.
If you dumped 300,000 gold coins, just how many pieces of that second-tier equipment could you actually get? Anyone in the divine domain knows the answer.
The analysis concluded thusly.
Within the guild, an investment of 300,000 gold coins only grants you the right to use this equipment. If it gets lost during use, you will also face a penalty in contribution points. And with 150,000 contribution points, you still can't fully equip a set of second-tier gear. There's a quantity limit too. This guild can't have more than 4 pieces.
After laying out all that, the guilds were once again driven to the brink of madness. This whole argument had a real knack for muddying the waters. Admittedly, the equivalent exchange in their argument wasn't wrong, but they conveniently overlooked a few key facts. First, that contribution score of 150,000. He casually brushed aside the extra compensation from regular activities. But the truth is, the guild runs plenty of those. Every player who joins the daily dungeon raids gets contribution compensation of all kinds. Anyone who's managed to pile up 150,000 contribution points definitely didn't get there just by donating gear. Second, they deliberately overlooked the value of second-tier equipment. As for second-tier gear, most of it was level 70 orange gear. Just how many pieces you could actually get for 300,000 gold, well, that was anyone's guess. You might want to buy it, but that doesn't mean anyone's selling. Third, penalties for lost equipment and limits on equipment quantity are absolutely necessary. Otherwise, a spy could come in, grind their contribution points up, equip the best gear, then go out and get themselves killed to drop it, come back to claim more, and repeat the process. How could any major guild allow such a stupid thing to happen? Of course, a guild warehouse system like that couldn't possibly be absent from Heavenly Swords either. There were many such deliberate distortions of people's analyses, and before the major guilds could even mount a rebuttal, Heavenly Swords once again glided in, speaking with ease. He said the brother was mistaken. Some things were just like that, like the quantity limit and the penalty for losing items, which were definitely necessary, and so on and so forth. But by comparison, the contribution points required by our Heavenly Swords are at least a lot lower, and so on and so forth. The major guilds were still drafting their rebuttals when who would have thought that Heavenly Swords would jump out to refute themselves? Then he looked again. Hey, the guy analyzing the warehouses earlier wasn't from Heavenly Swords, and nobody had said he was. But before anyone could even react, this brother started replying. He went on and on about Heavenly Swords, truly living up to that name. Righteousness above all. For a newly formed club team, the benefits they offered were way higher than the other big guilds. Now that's what you call bold and generous. Then Heavenly Swords quickly replied, "Oh, not at all, not at all. We're just a newly formed grassroots team. How could we possibly compare to those established powerhouses?"